Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. And guys, if you have not concluded that we are living in the twilight hours of the United States of America, I'm going to give you some receipts. The Kirk incident, as I believe it was Brother Ron stated over on Truth Unedited, I seen the other day, a great video he posted up. He said that the shooting of Charlie Kirk was probably the first shot of the next American Civil War. I believe it was him. I don't want to misquote that, but I'm pretty certain that was his video out of a wealth of videos I've watched lately in between making content myself and working. I think I seen that, caught that on the fly, and I agree wholeheartedly. That's probably not too far off base because people are being rage baited into the destruction of America. Now, I'm going to give you a bunch of receipts, but before I do that, I want to reach back in the annals of history. And I want to just point out to you, as I've said in a recent video, and so many times throughout on this course of this channel, is that America, and also guys, make sure to check this out over on Patreon. It's free to subscribe. If you want to support over there, I appreciate you. Also, we're going to be doing a giveaway soon on a bug out bag, and also the first Hard Truth Show live stream that's viewer supported will be up on the 8th, the 2nd, I believe it is, October 2nd, after Day of Atonement. I believe that's right. I got to check it. Anyway, just check. Info's in the video description below. But to begin with, as I've said before, if you look back in antiquity, all the way to today, if you look at how Rome operated and its rise and fall, and then you look at the rise and fall of America, we are at the twilight hours. Most great, mighty cities, mighty empires, Medo-Persian, the Grecian, the Roman, Byzantine, all these empires, we want to look at them. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of years go by, and then at some point, it tips off. And the Babylonian Empire, too. And so when you look at this, America is also following that like lockstep. The other interesting thing is that when you look at it prophetically and the terrible things that America has done, as I've said recently, the indigenous people here, whether you think that is just indigenous people or it's some of the scattered tribes of ancient Israel that ended up over here in America, that could be a conversation. Ezra's book of 2nd Ezra's, that's how that, what's the homeboy that come over here? Christopher Columbus. That's how he knew what was up over here in America, apparently the word is on the street. And so, these indigenous people were murdered, plundered, and then Deuteronomy 28, you can see obviously play out with the Hebrew Israelites that were carried away in ships over to here. And this great empire was built upon its back and exploited on them. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are still short 40 acres and a mule this day. So you have all that on the back burner, right? Prerequisite to this. But fast forward to today, that this country has so much immigrants, and my family, I'm born from an immigrant. But that's the situation. The differential is the immigrants that are coming in now specifically have no goodwill toward this republic. So, it's just like the Vandals, Visigoths, and the rest of them that came in on Rome to destroy it. And sorry, guys, I swear, ever since the 5G thing has really become big, like my mom literally was telling me today that she has a massive headache, and I have so much brain fog, and I've never been like this throughout the years. I've usually been like, boom, this is where that scripture is. Boom, this is that person. Boom, this is that place and time. Nowadays, I have massive struggle with it, and I do not use illicit drugs, controlled substances, drink, smoke, take any medication. If it ain't essential oils, Luke's probably on his deathbed because I ain't taking your help. So I'm just saying, it's not anything to do with that either. And I'm limiting sugar in my intake in my life too. So I mean there's that. And sweets, which is very sad. I really love my sweets, but to cut weight, you got to do what you got to do. And so I don't know what the deal is, but it's so hard to, really dial this stuff in anymore when you're really trying to critical think. It's frustrating. But, you have the people like the people that's crossing the border recently, and they're in 511 tactical gear. And I don't know about y'all, but if you ain't been down the 511 tactical shop, I buy them pants all the time for off-grid construction, because I'm tell you what, I have only ripped open like 1 or 2 pairs in my entire career of doing off-grid work, and now we're going into decades. And those are the best work pants, and they cost like $80 a whack, 80, $90 a whack, and rain parkas, tops, boots, you name it, everything's expensive 511. And so for them to be migrants coming across the border, very interesting tactical gear that you got there. That's some top tier stuff on the, at least on the public side market. And keep in mind, police and military use 511 stuff too, just saying. So anywho's, you've got that influx coming in, and then you have the infighting division amongst the country and its political factions. And we are printing money like there is no tomorrow. And according to people yesterday, that was supposed to be no tomorrow, but the rapture apparently didn't happen because I'm still here. And now somebody also wanted to hate speech me the other day about that too, and said I had experienced a divorce in the past, so I guess I wouldn't be taken anyway. So there's that. It's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, most divorces actuated in America are actuated by the female. There is that statistic out there. So, people just can be upset about that all they want. Shout out to all you guys out there that made a comeback after divorce. Most time it takes 10 years to recover, they say, and I'm on year like 8 or 9, and I'm almost on the backside of all that struggle bus. So yeah, it definitely takes a long time. But anyway, back on track. You have all these people that are being triggered right now, right, and rage baited, and people's getting upset in my comments and stuff because I'm just pointing out what's out there going on. You can literally see it going on. And so there is a civil war probably cooking on the horizon, and to top it off is with all the biblical prophecy and with final events and stuff starting to really wind up, earthquakes and River Euphrates drying up and signs in the heavens and just so many things. Days of Noah 2.0 taking place, like I'm going to talk about Truth or Expo in that presentation there. Like you have all this going on. There is a meter running down on our country. And I literally had an appraiser out here the other day, because we have this house listed for sale. And the appraiser was out, and he was telling me that he used to work on Wall Street, and that the financial sector side of things, like something is eventually going to fall out. Like the amount of money, the amount of debt load, the amount of spending that we've spent, tax money, regular revenues, gross domestic product, everything, and that nothing has gotten better in this country. You can just see it further devolving. Like I was explaining to him, prime example, that's TVA Dam. The baby boomers seen it built, and then Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Zs have enjoyed the benefits of it, and nobody's really maintained much. And so infrastructure is just crumbling around us, and nobody really knows how to fix it, cares how to fix it, or can afford to fix it. So there you go. And so the day of reckoning is coming for America, and the dystopian future that is ahead of us is already starting to show through the cracks. I watched videos the other day of one lady that was a single woman. This finance guy, I guess, is what his platform kind of is, and was showing stuff. And I always try to look at the least of us, like things that affect single people, children, and elderly. I always am intrigued by, because people that are married, people that have family, people in a family element are married, they have a support system. But the people that don't have a massive support system, those people I like to hear where they're at in life. I want to see everybody winning, but obviously it's hard for any of us to be winning, and even more, even the rich is starting to feel it. But the woman was explaining how that she wasn't even able anymore to budget out on her food, budget out. And what she meant by it is she had cut back when she went to the grocery store, and she'd cut back some more, and she'd cut back some more. And when you get to the point now, like myself, when you go to the store and you want to buy a watermelon and it's no longer $3 or $4 and it's $7 and something, you see how things are double, and your money is becoming less and less viable. Well, The other person was talking about she was a single mother and that she was going to lose her housing, and then she couldn't qualify for assistance on other housing. There was like this leap gap, and how that all this was compounding. And I say all that part to say this is that the least of us, there is a lot of least of us. And when they finally hit absolute critical mass where that they cannot help themselves no more, there's no one to help them, and they completely freak out and have a meltdown, all right? That is going to be an ugly scene in the streets. And it's probably not too far off. And so the future of America is an ugly place to see. And, the difference between America, like hitting the wall compared to other countries hitting the wall, is America has enjoyed a great richness throughout the years. Now a lot of people would say, well, it was just the white man that benefited from that in America. No, actually, I've watched people many other ethnics that drove a lot nicer vehicle than me and live in a lot nicer house than me, and they are a different melanin, different culture, different way of life, you name it. This country has afforded everyone in it an ability, if you apply yourself, to really reap rewards. However, it is a wicked system in which that you can profiteer from if you learn to manipulate it right. Otherwise, you really have to be a great blue-collar worker, white-collar worker, or somebody that has a niche trade to really succeed out here anymore and crush it. And by the grace of Most High, I'm kind of in that blue-collar niche world with the off-grid stuff I've done throughout the years and the customers we've worked for that have been awesome that we've been able to do that. But if you're just out here trying to work a day-to-day job anymore, getting paid $13 an hour, you're going to starve to death. And it's, Casey's gas station's opening up down from me, and I think it's like $13 an hour they're wanting to pay workers. You can't even afford to live off of that wage unless you own your house, own your vehicle, have like a cell phone bill and an insurance bill, and that's about it. It's very, very, slim you'd have to be to operate in it. And so in the near future, when all this finally does completely break down, you're going to see this country crumble. And the reset on that is an ugly, ugly scene. Like, I don't know the exactness of what that reset looks like, but I really just do not want to participate in that. Like, I see a massive AI controlling of assets and a massive AI insertion into government. I think it was Turkey the other day. I swear I want to say it was Turkey the other day has already augmented an AI government official to help regulate government office. And their justification was it doesn't say that the elected people or the person in office has to be a human. It has to be an officer of the public or something. It was crazy. And they literally introduced the AI entity, and the AI entity was like, I'm going to be fair and just, and blah blah blah. And it's weird, man. Things are just getting really wild out here, and the fantasy of this Cinderella's castle fantasy, Disney fantasy of America, the American dream, the picket fence and the dog in the backyard and the 2-story White House and the kids. All that is it's in the rearview mirror now. And the people that have inherited things, I'm one of those people. I know it's hard to hold on to everything you've got, and maintain. And to those people that are trying to build a life, now a lot of people's 10, 20 years into their home note, and they're working twice as hard to pay the same amount for the same thing that they bought 10, 20 years ago. Real estate's not moving. People ain't wanting to buy. They want to buy, but they can't. And I know I've just said a lot of different things, but you need to understand it's not one thing in particular that this country is crumbling. It's a collective. And I don't think people are reaching far enough to see collectively what is going on. You know, like what is going to be the end game. And the end game is totalitarianism and a dystopian world, just like that movie INTIME, End Time, with Justin Timberlake in it and that other girl, and Blade Runner. I mean, and Mad Max. I mean, like, guys, it is definitely at the doors. And then you got Terminator injected into that too. You know, the Terminator movies. And the guy that was the director for that, or the main man that wrote the script, I'm trying to remember. Anyway, he said, I think in a quote, that was a warning. That movie was a warning of what could come to be. And it literally is now coming to be, especially thanks to Tesla Tech, you know, Tesla and them and some other people. It's definitely being grinded out. And so people need to snap out of this slumber that they're in if you think that things are going to get better, because there is no Make America Great Again. You know, as I said recently in a stream, I think it was a live stream I did, is MAGA is literally like one of the highest satanic offices you can have in Satanism and magic and other stuff. Like, it's crazy. And in other cultures, I think it was evil and witches and sorcery and dragons. It refers to so many bad things. And I know people's like, well, that's not what it means. I'm just saying, in generalization, if you look at where we're at, in my opinion, America has never been great. Now, I know that's going to offend a lot of people, and I want to be very clear what I'm saying. Have we made great modern marvels in construction and ingenuity? Absolutely. There's been brilliant minds born here. There has been amazing feats accomplished. But when it comes to like this Christian nationalism that's about to be cemented into, for example, and that's a different video I'll make. If you look at America being great, it has been built on murder and bloodshed and oppression and suffrage and extortion. I can just keep going. That's the foundation. I believe there was even slaves that was there for the Spanish that built Castillo. What is that? Oh my gosh, the castle I love down there in St. Augustine. Castillo de Santiago. I mean, what is that? That drives me nuts. If you look up the fort in St. Augustine, I can't think of it right now. Been to that thing so many times over the years. Once again, brain fog. And anyway, that thing, San Marcos, Castillo de San Marcos, I think is what it is. Anyway, that castle, literally, I think there is a historical plaque down there when you walk through the tour, and it has the Spaniards and it has slaves taking the coral blocks and making that castle. So like from 16, I think that castle was built, I want to say, as early as, might even been 13, 14, 16. It's somewhere in between 1300 and 1600, whenever Spaniards first came over. That was the first city, okay? St. Augustine is the first official city in the United States of America that's, of course, in current recorded history. But anyway, from there forward, you can definitely count servitude that was done on this land. And then all the Indian wars and everything else. And if you look at it like that, you're like, okay, so at what point was we great? Because then after that, you have Civil War, and then you have World War I and World War II, and this whole nation, the whole time it's existed, like we've rarely ever not been at war. And the last comment I would make on this is that for those that's born in the generation I was born in, we have not, okay, so baby boomers, their grandfathers could tell them about the Civil War, but Gen Xers, possibly a little history there, but everybody forward of that, right? They have not seen death and destruction right here on your doorstep. They have not seen murder and pillaging and plundering and artillery shells exploding and houses burning down and whole cities being laid waste. They haven't seen that kind of destruction like that I fear is very soon for America. And, you know, these things come home, you know, these chickens eventually come home to roost. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, as this evening, the sun is starting to set toward the west, and on this geostationary flat Earth under a firmament dome, waters above and waters below, and it's fixed and immovable, and the dome going to be rolled back like a scroll when the master comes back very soon after the trumpets. It's going to be a wild ride ahead, and if you are not prepared spiritually, physically, and mentally, you better get there, because change is coming in America. Change you can believe in, because it's going to happen. And making America great. America is not ever going to be great again. There will be a false revival. There will be a lot of things that is propped up to look, man, this is the golden years ahead. And all it is the golden rays of the twilight of an empire about to collapse. And you remember back, it might be years from now, it might be a year from now, it might be 3 months from now, but you remember that Seven Trumpets Prepper said so. Because when you do see this dystopia take place, you're going to see the rollout of so much abomination, from Rex 84 to guillotines to AI surveillancing to just all the craziness you never thought you'd see in your life. It's not far ahead of us, and a dystopia and the apocalypse following that. So guys, as always, until we see you again here at Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel, I hope the Most High Yah Baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. In Yahushua name.